Hi, welcome to the first week of Presentation Power. This week, we're going to be doing just a quick introduction to public speaking. What exactly is public speaking? Is it a TED Talk? Is it your priest or pastor talking at a congregation? Is it you giving a toast at a wedding? Is it me giving a lecture? Well, for the purpose of this class, we're going to think of public speaking as organized, face-to-face, prepared, intentional intent to inform, entertain, and persuade a group of people. So it's more than two people. And you're going to be using your words, physical delivery, visual, and audio aids. It is part of an enlarged conversation. It's not just you up on the stage. You have to be aware and sensitive of your audience, of their needs. It is an exchange of your message, your content, which are your facts, ideas, information, your stories. And it's also less explicitly about the relationship that you're building with your audience. How do you build trust? How are you going to make sure that they understand, that they like you? Are they getting your message, right? So it's dependent on the feedback that you get from your audience. And while I said it's almost always face-to-face, it can be and is more and more mediated through things like Zoom. So if you keep this in mind, that it's a formalized communication, right? With an idea, you've got your big idea and you're trying to impart it on your audience. It's not really a performance. It is more a method of communication, trying to reach mutual understanding of whatever your big idea is. This week, you're going to be learning about the 7 components of communication. And these are things you should be aware of when you are preparing your talk, but also when you're watching other talks throughout the semester. You'll be analyzing different talks and think about these different components and the ways that these work and play into your talk. You're going to also be learning about the 11 speaking competencies. These are part of the public speaking competence rubric, which if you're interested in learning about how this came about, there's a QR code there. You can just scan that if you want to read the journal article. But these 11 elements are what you are going to be graded on or evaluated on this semester as you give your presentations. Obviously, at the beginning, I'm not expecting you to be an expert in all those. That's what you're here for, to learn how to use these best, to learn the skills to use these best. But I just want you to be aware that this is what is on the rubrics. And also, we're going to start off this week by you watching a talk, and I want you to evaluate that talk, look at these competencies, and evaluate that talk according to this rubric. Are you afraid of public speaking? Are you in this class because you're a thespian and you want to learn more? Or is it because you're a little nervous? Well, if you are, you're not alone. A fear of public speaking is found to be one of the main phobias that people have. More than spiders, more than heights, public speaking it's really not more than death. The records show, for the record, it is top ranking though. It's just behind death, but people are hugely afraid of speaking. So you're not alone. The word is glossophobia, and phobia, as you know, comes from fear or dread, and glosso is the Greek word for tongue. So many people experience this. They have actual physical reactions where they sweat, their heart races, they might shake a little bit when they get in front of an audience. And why is that? A lot of times it's just a mindset. If we can overcome that, we can overcome that thinking, oh, this is it, this is my one chance, it's all or nothing, judging yourself on that. If we can become mindful, then we hopefully can overcome this. And then also, I think the more you practice, the more you do it. You're going to have 8 times to give a presentation in this class. And while, yes, you're just recording it, understand your classmates will be listening, even though they may not be listening in live, in real time. But I want you to feel like they are. And I think as you do this more and more, you're going to become more comfortable with this. And hopefully in this class, we're going to provide you with skills to help you increase your confidence and set you up to become a better speaker. What can you do about it in the meantime? If you are afraid of speaking in public or speaking in front of the camera, you need to mentally prepare, focus on it, think about the audience, think about your big idea and how much you really want them to know about this big idea, right? You want to share this information. So prepare for that. Physically prepare too. What are you wearing? Is your Have you eaten? Have you had enough sleep, right? Are you in something uncomfortable? So you're going to keep pulling at your shirt collar, right? Make sure that your body is comfortable, your vocals have been warmed up, and that you have physically prepared for it. Also contextually prepared. Have you tested the camera? Have you tested the mic? Is your lighting correct? So are you being lit from the front? And finally, you need to practice, practice, practice. According to the TED Talk, coaches, they say that for every minute of a talk, you should prepare for 1 hour. So a 3-minute talk, that's 3 hours of prep. And when we say prepare, that doesn't mean just reading it over and over again. It means actually standing up and delivering your talk. If it's to your roommate, if it's to your cat, say the words out loud. And the more you can replicate how you're going to be, how the real situation will be. So let's say you do an opportunity to speak in public sometime in the next couple months. If you know what it's going to look like, you know what the room's going to be. Are you going to have a clicker? Are you going to have a podium in front of you or a lectern in front of you? All these things, the more you know about it, the better it's going to be when you actually get up on the stage. So this week, you're going to do 2 readings. One is in the book Resonate. This is from Nancy Duarte, who has a company called Duarte. And she worked originally, I think, with Al Gore and doing the slides for Inconvenient Truth. And she has also worked with many, many of the TED speakers and helping them, the quality changes for the presentations for their events. And of course, she's done her own TED Talks as well. And I love everything she's done. And so this book is available for free. And if you haven't already downloaded it, but you can also buy the book. I like the e-version because it's got some media attached to it, which is fun. You can click it through and see some of the talks that she's referring to. For your discussion this week, you're going to be using Flipgrid, which is a software that allows us to record ourselves on video and then talk to one another, respond to each other on video. If you're not familiar with it, I'd like you to log on to there as soon as possible and make sure you have access to it. And finally, your assignment this week is to watch a talk from Maitha Alhansen, as it's her talk. It's like a TED Talk, but it's actually a Frank Talk. And she is a Syrian journalist. She's a PhD. She does a lot of work studying ethnicities and Muslim American identity. So I want you to watch this, look at the assignment, which is to evaluate her according to the 11 competencies that you've read about in the book. And that's it for this week. I look forward to working with you throughout the semester.